conversation this morning thereof will be about where they pick up the pieces from there while we do the analysis or the post-mortem on the election outcome in relation to what the messages were from the leading candidates and who were the surprises of the game just this Saturday as well. And for the NDC, they really do have a match or don't they? And so we're grateful that you've joined us this morning. As always, please make sure that across our streams, you're part of this conversation. You know, TV3 Ghana are always available for you. And let me just introduce our guest for the morning. The CEO for the National Petroleum Authority is also a professional lawyer, director of the legal directorate of the NDC as well, holding that position. And so good morning to you, Aduje Tamaklo.
Good morning, my brother Papa Ro. Now let me also call you Papa Ro.
Usually
good morning
you don't.
to my very good learned senior here, Prof, who will be joining us soon, and my senior brother, Godwin. And as usual, Chairman.
Chairman Prosper.
Chairman Prosper. It's been a while since I heard of him. And good morning to our cherished viewers. You know, today happens to be the birthday of my very good brother, the DG for SNIT, Kwesi Afrebani. I want to use this platform to wish him a happy birthday.
Okay.
And my brother Michael Kweti Tete. Of Ningo Pram Pram. Happy birthday.
Michael Tete. Yeah, I remember you very well from the primaries leading up. We had a feisty time between him and Sam George. We were doing some debates, and we had. I hope we've ironed out those issues as well. Michael Tete, good morning to you as well. And then my friends with the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization. They are doing their launch this morning. The whole Central Prisons, that's the main venue itself. We're going to have the Director General for the Ghana Prison Service, also Mr. Kwasi Bejira as well, who is a Member of Parliament for Whole West, but also with the West African Parliament, and then also the Member of Parliament for the area, the Honorable Pasu as well, who also will be there, and a number of dignitaries. So make sure you join them there, the whole Central Prison. But for those who have joined us on our social, we're grateful. I see Ni Odate Mills. He lives in Finland. He's also watching us alongside his family. And I'll please employ our digital team to make sure you block the accounts that tend to post the scam messages. So I have John Vianney accounts there. Roger Agongo, I see you as well. And Prince Nani Young, Uncle Charles Thompson also lives in the UK as well. We're grateful that you've joined us. But let's have a number of the insights and the outcomes following that election that was put together or organized by the NPP, for which Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia emerged winner to lead the NPP into the 2028 elections.
Work together and we will win together. As it is often said, after competition comes cooperation. And our expectation that all party members will apply themselves to this principle. It cannot be the case that one's support for the party is maintained only when those we support lead. I want to stand on this energy to make a passionate appeal to all members of the great NPP to let go of whatever reservations they have and come together.
I stand before you to pledge my support, also to accept the results declared by EC. The delegates have spoken, and I want to plead with my supporters. Stay calm and respect the results, and help all of us to work together to win 2029 or 2028 election.
Now more than ever, the NPP must stand united as one family. Our collective responsibility is to rebuild trust with Ghanaians, strengthen our structures, and prepare decisively for victory in 2028. I remain fully committed, say Kutu, to the ideas and ideals of our party and to the service of God.
To our presidential candidate, lead with a big heart, lead with decisiveness, lead with clarity of purpose, lead with all of us behind you. Stretch out your hand to all who stood in this race. And to those who did not prevail, stand tall in loyalty. In our tradition, true loyalty is proven, not in victory, but how we respond to defeat.
And so that flag really signifies that the NPP by itself is ready for the elections. And so, Eduji, you monitored it. What was your own observation so far from the messaging during the campaign in itself and ultimately culminating in the election on Saturday?
Roland, first of all, let me say once again, good morning. That said, our party had issued a statement congratulating the NPP for going through such primaries and coming out without the usual violence and all the associated problem. And we need to congratulate them for that. I monitored it because I wanted my candidate to win. And my candidate in the NPP primaries was Dr. Bawumia. I say my candidate because I obviously want a candidate that the NDC will not struggle to, as it were, to defeat again.
I do understand.
Yes. I personally wanted a candidate. And so at all times, I was praying that Brian won't win. I was praying that Ken will not win. And in fact, all my modeling,
really?
I model it around Bawumia winning. And thankfully, he won. And that places us in a better advantage going into the 2028 election. Let me say this. You see, one great man once said, never interrupt your opponents when they are doing what will get them to their demise. Never, never interrupt them. And so for us, anything that the NPP were doing, we wanted everything to get to the point. Look, if you look at the whole poll, it was clear that Dr. Bawumia was going to win. There was no two ways about it. The very moment he succeeded in getting the top-bottom approach approved by the neck of the party, I knew that he was going to win. Why? The delegates who in November 2023 elected him, which eventually led to his monumental defeat, were the same delegates. Nothing changed. And as humans, we always want to validate our decision. And so it was going to be difficult for the same set of delegates to do a 360 degrees in their reasoning. It would be, and you see, they want to confirm their previous decision. And so it was not strange at all. It was just a few of them who this time around decided that the Bawumia candidature was problematic for them. And for that matter, if you look at this particular election, a few of the delegates realized the risk in having Bawumia on the tickets. And for that matter, you will notice that he dropped from 62% in November 2023 to now 56.65%. That should tell you that as he progresses, becomes less popular in the NPP.
Really?
Yes, even among the same delegates. And that is even more dangerous. Look at the historical trend. There is no presidential candidate who has been repeated but had less percentage in its internal primaries. There's no presidential candidate. President Ajekum Kufuor, when he was repeated, he came out with a bigger and stronger support within the NPP. When Prosper Mills, 2000, 2004, 2008, he increased his numbers and popularity within the party. President John Dramani Mahama repeated the same thing. In fact, candidate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo struggled to get 50% in 2007 against candidate Alan Kyerematen. By the next time in 2012, when the NPP repeated him, he came with almost 85% from 47. And by the year 2014, he did not less than 92%. In the case of President Mahama, it has been an overwhelming support within the NDC.
So let me get this. You're saying that if you go the first time around and
Yes.
there's a repetition of your candidacy,
You have always come out stronger.
it has to be overwhelming.
Overwhelming. In fact, it is only Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia who has been repeated as a candidate with lesser support within the NPP. And that should be concerning for anybody within the NPP.
Why should it be Aduji?
Because you see, like I've given you a historical trend, and the data analysis is there for all of us. Candidate Akufo-Addo, who went with him, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, started with 47, went to beyond 80, and went to 90 within the cycle that he was repeated. Now look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. His first time, he did 62%. His second coming, 56%. A massive drop from 62 to 56, sorry. That is massive in terms of numbers. And look at something. Even the NPP delegates number reduced. If you compare to the number that voted.
You mean the turnout?
Yes. And the delegates that really did vote just this Saturday, if you compare to 2024, the number reduced. So you can see that even with a reducing delegates number, his popularity, dwindles with the NPP. And that should be concerning. And this is data. Look, there are some historical things that work against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's candidature. Look at the numbers. There is no presidential candidate who had gone into an election has lost and won only 77 constituencies. Check the historical record.
As a national candidate?
Yes, as a national candidate.
But if you're rejuvenated, you have seen...
Rejuvenated, even internally, 40-something% of your party members do not see you worthy to lead them.
But he's going to face a new candidate from the NDC
No. You see, like I always say, you win on your own merits. You don't go into an election seeking to win on the weakness of someone. What is your merit, even within, internally? Look, if you recall, in November 2023, the likes of Samuel Uku and co predicted that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was going to win the internal election by 75%, 80% among others. There was a reason why they were thinking that way. Because that shows you your hold on the party. Now, if you have 40+% of your own party members rejecting you at the polls, what will be your national performance? In fact, somebody did a calculation, and the person said, look, if 62% resulted in, is it 42 or 38%?
I think 38.0.
Very well.
The first announcement that was made by the EC is 30, but the official outcome, as put together and then made public by the Electoral Commission, is 41%.
Okay, so
which one do you want to say? Please stick to 41%.
So 41.
Let's not have this argument. Zato and Solomon had this
Very
argument there.
So we are saying that if 62% resulted in 41% in 2024, then 56% equals what? Find X.
Do that again.
So
algebra.
Yes, algebra. 62% resulted in 42% performance nationally.
41%.
41%.
Okay.
Now, 56% will resort to X. Find X.
Okay. Okay.
And others are projecting that may translate into 32%.
No, but it doesn't go. Election outcomes don't go.
No, but you see, I am giving you these scenarios to just let you know what is ahead of him. And that is, and let me say this. For me, I was a bit surprised with the performance of Brana Champon. Where I sit as an electionist, somebody who has some understanding of elections in Ghana, I think he's the most formidable threat in the next 10 years. I don't know how you was able...
Champon.
Yes, Brian. I don't know how he was able to do this in Volta region. He upstaged Ken Ejipon and Dr. Bawumia in the Volta region. That's quite, revealing. And I want to understand the model that he used. Because in November 2023, if you recall, Ken Ejipon won Volta region against Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
In actual fact, according to their projection, Volta region would have been a win. Dr. Kukubuahin last time confirmed it.
Yes. And if you look at this time round,
and they have a Megu and Co on the team.
Brian Achampon rather took a very formidable lead in the Volta region. These are very interesting numbers. Look, in the NDC, we deal with over 400,000 delegates.
Your delegates?
Yes.
NDC delegates, 400,000.
About 400,000. And so when you go into the election and you do
an NPP
90, 213 or 13.
212.
Yes,
212
212 that did cast their, were supposed to have voted. The register.
But it doesn't matter.
Less of that
is
is
the constituent that.
No, but I'm just telling you that when an NDC candidate gets 90% of 400, it is much better in terms of its national, appeal than somebody getting 56% of 213. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's important that you put this in perspective. Look, let me just say that I respect my opponents. And even in my practice as a law, I never underestimate my opponents in any matter that I deal with. So I respect Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia for he being the candidate of the NPP. We in the NDC are not going to be complacent. And we strongly believe that a simple antidote to the Bawumia candidature is a well-performing economy. Because, if you recall, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo framed Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in the minds of Ghanaian voters. In his famous Sidino Aye Hata Hata, and for that matter, he needed a candidate called Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia with his economic prowess to help resolve the economic
challenges. He was doing well until COVID, Russia, Ukraine.
Calm down. Currently, there are global instabilities. So it is not just the case. And in fact, in the words of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, how come that the NDC government complain about global destiny when there is Ivory Coast? So it doesn't lie in his mouth to rely on global issues today. But most importantly, and I want to conclude on this, is the fact that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, as the chair of the economic management team, saw a situation where inflation went to 54%. And at the time when inflation got to 54%, only two countries were worse than Ghana, South Sudan and Zimbabwe. That is a demonstrable track record. Do you know that when inflation went to 54%, do you know that, Roland, 830,000 Ghanaians became poor? You may ask, Bayeduji, are you not exaggerating that this X number of persons became poor simply because inflation went to? My authority for this proposition is a publication by the Ghana Statistical Service. And let me reference it, where it says that the number of persons who had become poor by reason of inflation getting to that number. Let me see if I can pull the data for you. Yes.
Did you wrap up for me?
Yes, I'm wrapping up.
You seem to be high, you're milking
yes,
this.
Ghana
Please
Web.
end for me.
Ghana Web. 850,000 Ghanaians shoved into poverty due to high government debt and high inflation, unquote. And so when Dr. Bawumia was the chair of the economic mismanagement team, 850,000 Ghanaians became poorer. In fact, poor. How is he going to explain that data today? How is he going to explain the lower inflation that we have today? What will be his alternative? What will be his alternative to the better management of the Ghana city today? It cannot be highfalutin. It cannot be voodoo economics. People want to see the reality in terms of the numbers.
Dr. Apiadamko, at the end of the day... Okay. Lawyer Apiadamko.
You don't want G10 to come after you.
Lawyer Apiadamko. But is it not instructive that despite everything, just like the current president was voted out in 2016, and he said he learned lessons over the period of the 8 years, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia could also be in the same mode. Is that not it?
So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning, wish yourself a good morning, wish my brother Eduji a good morning, and my Professor Tutuwahi a good morning. Your question is asking me whether or not His Excellency Dr. Bawumia cannot make a case that he's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's learned any lesson. Indeed, the manner in which the NPP, the campaign was done, the messaging was done, tell me that, or confirms to me that the spirit of Machiavellianism, the spirit that is familiar, the culture that is very parochial, that has, in my opinion, destroyed the core values and principles of the NPP, was at the fore in how this campaign was done. And it tells me that His Excellency Dr. Bawumia and the NPP in general have not learned any lesson, have not repented. Indeed, the fact that they decided to do this bottom-up approach, whose essence was to turn the NPP into, in the words of the Venerable Kwesi Pratt, turn the NPP into a Bawumia fan club, confirms that this is a party that is going deeper into the abyss and are not in the position to give any credible opposition and are not poised to change how they do their politics. Because, when you take politics there are various ways in which people see politics. You can choose to see politics in the eyes of Aristotle, or you can choose to see politics in the eyes of Machiavelli, of Niccolo Machiavelli.
Which of those eyes are you looking through?
I've always looked at my politics in the eyes of Aristotle. Because the reason why you do politics ought to be to build a strong state, ought to be to create a situation where strong men, as in good men, you understand? I see politics that is governed more by ethics, a politics that brings to the fore virtue and principle. Now, the NPP, and especially when Anado took control of the party from 2008, did politics that was more Machiavellian in nature. Politics that saw power as the end. Personally, I see power as a means, as the beginning. As a means, it's not necessarily the end. But the NPP saw politics, saw power as the end. And because they see politics or they see power as the end, it reflected in how they did their campaign. Now, they've chosen a candidate, and they've told us that this candidate has some 16 cents. Beyond what we know, NPP themselves, his competitors, and the party itself, told all Ghanaians that Bawumia has some 16 cents. Bro, are you following?
I'm following.
That Bawumia has 16 cents. 16 cents.
They
say 60 cents. One, you remember the Sanla rice? Sanla rice. They told Ghanaians that the Sanla rice that were It's true. Bawumia salary rise.
You mean was part of the campaign for the
But they told us that Bawumia had committed some 16 cents.
Those are allegations, and it's been refuted several times.
Refuted. MPP itself, the MPP is going to convince Ghanaians that Bawumia is the best person to lead us. But MPP also told us that Bawumia has some 16 cents. Beyond his inability to aid in reversing the principle of the Hatarization of the city. They are telling us that Bawumia has committed some 16 cents. In fact, they even added that he is autistic. Did you hear that, bro? In this campaign, he said his husband, Dr. Bawumia, was autistic.
Let's leave that out.
No, I won't leave
Let's
it.
be decent in our
I'm being very decent because they're going to sell Bawumia.
But that was the campaign time. It's over.
No. You see, I'm telling you that
a lot of things were said.
Listen. And I'm saying that it depends. See, we must put the right political culture.
What's your point with rehashing and then trying to reframe
Because this is not just an internal election. They are going to sell Bawumia to us to become the commander-in-chief of Ghana. They are going to sell Bawumia and we are going to give him the job. Indeed, he's going to swear an oath to be faithful to Ghana. That means that he's going to be faithful to the ideals, the principles, the values of Ghana. He will swear an oath to protect, defend, and preserve the constitution of Ghana. And he's also going to swear an oath to dedicate himself to the well-being of all Ghanaians. And yet, he is coming out from a culture that sees politics from the eyes of Niccolo Machiavelli. For them, it's all about the power. They don't have any plan beyond the power. And we saw that in how they did their campaign. That the NPP in this campaign told us that His Excellency Dr. Bawumia has committed some 16 sins. And you say that it's not important. When His Excellency Bawumia is going to be marketed to assume an office, which requires of him
of the United
to be faithful. I'm
only saying
I'm saying that
doesn't.
No, I have to rehash it.
Why should that be part of the narrative, Lawyer Kenan?
Because they are going to present him to us to hold a position that requires that he's faithful to Ghana, that he's faithful to the ideals of Ghana, he's faithful to the values of Ghana, he's faithful to the agenda Ghana will set for him under Chapter 6 of our Constitution. He's going to take an oath to dedicate himself to the well-being of Ghana. I'm saying that, but the culture that is bringing him is not a culture that sees politics as a means to serve the good of the whole. He's coming from a house that do not see politics as a means of building the people, of bringing up good people. He's coming from a culture that does not see politics as being capable of bringing up virtuous people. He's coming from a culture that do not do politics that has the interest of Ghana at heart. And you see, we saw that culture in the kind of campaign that was done. And I shouldn't take it serious. But when they're telling me that the allegation that Bawumia was involved in the Hajj salary scandal, they're saying that it's part of a sense. When they're telling you that
it was a campaign, Lawyer Pierre Dankwa.
So what?
The campaign is over. The election is over.
Listen,
we're here to do the post-election analysis.
I'm telling you.
And you are drawing references that the content of the messaging for the campaign will have an effect on how they sell the candidate.
It ought to be. It ought to have a
Lawyer Dankwa of the United Party.
Yes,
is that what you're claiming?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that one, you all have a choice to see politics as through it in the eyes of Aristotle. That says that the ends of politics ought to be in the creation or in providing the common good, creating virtuous people. You understand? Create a system where the individual ambitions of every single Ghanaian can best be met. And you see, in 1992, when we took our constitution, in the spirit of our constitution, we show the values of Ghana, sees politics like how Aristotle sees politics. And we see that in the kind of oath we say that whoever becomes president ought to take. And the first oath is that, listen, you must be faithful to Ghana. That's the first oath he will take. That he must be faithful to Ghana. What does this mean? You understand? He must be, he's trying to be faithful to the values of Ghana. He's trying to be faithful to the ideals of Ghana. We say we believe in what's called the principles of probity and accountability. We claim that we believe in integrity. You understand? And he swore that oath once. He swore that oath once.
As vice president.
But he swore that oath. What did we see when he swore that oath? We are left with he left us with a country that was broken in terms of virtue.
Dr. Mahmoud
Yes, he left us with a country where we started questioning whether or not this constitutional democracy we took upon ourselves is even needful. And we see that in the last Afro Barometer report before they left office, where majority of Ghanaians were questioning whether or not constitutional democracy was even good for us. He left us with an economy that was on its knees. The economy had lost all credibility. He left us with a situation where even though they claimed that they were going to protect the public purse, we had DDEP. My brother Edwin G made a very good point about his management of the economy. He said that between 2017 and 2020, the economy was good. No, they laid the seeds for the failure of the economy between that 2017 and 2020. You see, when you analyze every economy and the role government plays in that economy, government plays a role in the economy in terms of its fiscal and its monetary policy. Now, we should be questioning them. What wisdom was in their deciding to spend 440 million Ghana cedis on one of their most transformational policies, the 1D1F, and 5 billion on 1D1F. That was how they used their power of fiscal policy. That's how they used the power of fiscal policy.
Well, it's a decision they had to make.
But what was
creating jobs for NAPCO and then also...
Listen, how many jobs did NAPCO create? And that's why when the so-called Russia-Ukraine COVID came, we had no leg to stand on. As things stand now, we are in even a more difficult international situation now with the way Trump is disrupting the global economy. And yet, what's the position of our economy? We have a situation where we are still locked out from the international markets. And what is the state of our economy? And you see, I'm telling you that the way the culture of the party, which have chosen him as president, that culture allowed a kind of nauseating campaign they did. And in that campaign, they have told us that Bawumia committed some 16 sins. Bawumia committed some 16 sins. And you think it's not important. I'm coming, please, I beg you. You just give me about 20% of the time. We need to go through those sins. We need to go through the sins.
The elections, why do you want to go through?
You see?
What are the same? I haven't come across it before.
Listen, they are saying that Bawumia likes tribal politics. And so even though per chapter 6 of our constitution, the political agenda, per chapter 6 of our constitution, Ghanaians are saying that we want a leader, or our political agenda is to create a Ghana. Is to create a Ghana where your tribe shouldn't be too critical. They want to forge one Ghana. They are saying that Bawumia is against that agenda. They are saying that Bawumia is very vindictive. They are saying it's here.
Why are you reading this?
They say Bawumia is very vindictive. I'm coming. They say that the DDEP, we should go action.
I want to verify your source. Let me
listen. Did you not see the 16 sins of Bawumia? Don't come in. Did you not see the 16 sins of Bawumia? Yeah. They are saying that
I saw it.
They are saying that he is indecisive on key policies. They are saying that under his watch, instead of dealing with the haterization of the city, Bawumia championed the depreciation of the city. They are telling us that. They are saying that he alienated the grassroots of the party. They are telling us that he failed to unite the party. They say that he was silent during party scandals. We see the National Service Scheme. And you see, unlike in fact, I'll hold on. You understand? In fact, I'll try not to be comparing people's heights to the monies they took or they are claimed to have taken. I'll restrain myself from judging the heights of people. The heights of people as against the monies they are claimed to have taken. But they said when people were taking monies, that was taller than them, but I kept quiet. Now, they say he's Bawumia. They say he's Bawumia.
Why are you reading?
They say he's Bawumia. Did you not see the 16 sins of Bawumia?
You heard Kennedy Paul.
Did you not see?
No, I heard about Ken.
PDS scandal. They say the PDS scandal, some guarantee. The NPP is telling us that, so when we were saying that we were alleging, the NPP is telling us that we're all true. They are telling us that it's all true. They are saying that he used that vehicles for campaigning. You recall that my brother Solomon Usu, with my brother Ebu Bakman. We've made a petition to the OSP. And then the OSP shouldn't think that we forgot about that petition. The OSP should not think that we forgot about that petition. Bawumia said that he spent to buy some what's it called, vans for the party. He should come and tell us where he got that money. So, the MPP is telling us that he betrayed Nana Akufo-Addo. They said broken promises on gold for oil program. They said 214 million immigration budget inflation. Now, these are things that the MPP themselves are telling us about Bawumia, beyond the autistic thing, beyond Ken saying that he's a liar on live TV. But why would they do that? Why would they do that? They'll do that because the culture within their party, the culture that is choosing him for us, the culture is not a culture that puts the interest of Ghana first. It's not a culture that puts the interest of the common Ghanaian first. But it's a culture that sees politics as a means of self-aggrandizement. It's a culture that sees politics as a means of building your personal interest as against the interest of the people. So, Ro, what they've done, how does that help or support a view, a statement that he's learned his lesson? No. If anything else, if for anything at all, what it does that it reaffirms our belief that the NPP is a party that is full of familiar spirits. And for people who are not too sure about the word familiar spirit, NPP is a party that's full of evil spirits. NPP is a party whose culture is parochial. NPP is a party that does not have the interest of Ghana at heart. And so that vile spirit, will lead them and will dictate to them how they handle everything. And in this campaign,
you mean principalities
and familiarity and evil spirits. And we saw that in this campaign.
You throughout the period, whether on air but also maybe off air, especially when we have the discussions, always made projections and said your internal activities based on research, which you did independently, show that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was taking the lead among the delegates. Now, looking at what the main issues would be, why did they make that decision? Not go for Kenny Japan, but rather go for DMC. And then looking at the inroads made by Dr. Brian Champong and its effects on not only the larger delegates, the midterm elections of the national executives, and ultimately for 2028.
Yes. Good morning to my lawyers. The way Apia Damka is charged this morning.
I want to bring him some water. Need some.
It should be chilled water.
Yeah, that's on my way.
Yeah. And lawyer DG, good morning.
Morning.
Bro, calm down small.
Oh, I'm very calm.
Yeah, calm down. I know these ones. But I'm surprised Dr. Koku Ken.
Dr. Boyne.
Dr. Ken Koku Edu Boyne
didn't come.
Yeah.
He's on his way.
We had a chat last Friday, and I promised him I was going to pour powder on him for a very good
on air. If
on
Ken
air,
won.
yes. Not that if Ken won. Okay.
So we will.
Obaseno Kren America.
So you spoke to Dr. Koku Boyne?
Yes.
Okay.
Dog, whenever you are good morning. Good morning. You actually need time to rest and cool down.
So say obe focus on Amazon.
The name be
He said you joined the EP. Have you forgotten?
Oh, but you gave him the offer. He didn't actually sign for it.
No, he signed. He said if they lose, you come.
Okay. So, Paparu, you know, off air I've been saying that I actually trust in the polls myself and my team we did in 2025. I trust it because
you did a fantastic poll.
Yes.
Your team,
yes,
2025.
2025.
Dr. Tutu Boyne poll.
And the rigorous nature of the analysis made me to believe that even if the 72% lead that Dr. Bawumia had at that time, even if it was going to reduce, he wouldn't go anything below 50%. And recently, even though I didn't get enough responses, from delegates, I also realized that in a margin of error of +3, -3, Dr. Bawumia was going to be placed at the lowest margin of 52%. All right. And that I realized that if Ashanti region should come for him, if Eastern should come for him, he may probably go beyond the 52%. You see, I keep talking about, I don't know whether you've heard Musa Dankwe's, was it yesterday's, social media, recording that he did. And it turns out to be that we have examples from previous by-elections when in a day or two to the elections, some pronouncements have been made, and such pronouncement tends to turn the fortunes of that particular election's outcome. And so it wasn't surprising that, lawyer was talking about the sins of Dr. Bawumia.
No, the NPP people gave...
I know you didn't say that. Yes, you mentioned it.
I know you reacted.
So the sins were coming from the opponents of Dr. Bawumia as part of the campaign?
You asked a question, I'm only trying to link it, So what it means is that when you are at the forefront of political campaigning, all right, and your communications, seems to always attack a particular individual. One, you are only communicating that you really lack vision. You are telling people that you are not in the race to let people vote for you based on your personal political values. But then, without talking about your opponent, obviously, you don't really have any message.
And you are speaking in relation to?
You asked whether, the factors that actually led to, So that is it. Messaging is key. And I'm saying that you don't emphasize and overemphasize on your opponent in marketing communications because of the level of competition, right? Whenever you advertise and you mention the name of your competing brands, what are you doing? You are only telling people that this product is good, so go buy it. And that is why in adverts, you don't get companies mentioning other brands that are competing with them. All right? And so what it means in politics is that you don't go talking about, someone, and especially, any other platform that you get. You just mention, names, put allegations, and all that. What it means is that your audience are likely to pay attention to that brand rather than your personal brand.
And this one is in relation to
you
what?
are a professor in marketing, but in political marketing, it is not linear.
In fact,
there is a lot of dynamics in it. You can't also go into a political campaign and say your opponent. You frame the conversation. It's about framing.
Yeah, the framing.
Your opponent,
so the framing.
You can't take
the
them
framing
out.
is sad.
How are you going to do that?
The framing is sad that you are framing to get attention, for your message. It is not framing to get attention for your opponent. That is my point. All right. In political communication framing, okay, the most important thing is that get the understanding of or the attention of your audience. Push your message and let them understand your message. In other words, you are creating awareness. Okay, so from attention to awareness. All right. Then you try to position the message in their minds in such a way that that message will stick to them. And at any point in time, as long as the message is taken, all right, the recall processes, makes it very important that at any point in time when the person gets to the ballot, you be the first to come out.
Well, I'm a marketing person myself, and at the end of the day, some of the tools and then also the principle that I use are one of the Chinese philosophers, Sun Tzu. And he says that the best form of defense is to attack. And then also deception is one of the bases by which you also get to win a war.
No.
And at the end of the day, if you create a certain deception around your opponent, you create the focus and direct the focus of everybody else on that opponent. And so you run that person down. And that's also a good strategy.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, I don't know when that Chinese philosopher said what he said.
Sun Tzu is very famous.
Yes, but I don't know when he said that. And if I'm going to juxtapose what we are saying with the fact that the best form of attacking, the best form of defense is to attack. That is true in football. All right, it is true in the military circles.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
It was a general in a way.
Exactly. But when we get to marketing,
and it's been used in corporate strategies.
Yes. So but you see the circumstances, and let me say this: I'm also, apart from my background in marketing and political marketing, I've also taught strategic management and strategic marketing for a long time. All right. So when you check the dynamics, with regards to attacking your opponents, all right, there are certain variants that could inform that. For instance, I don't want to mention a company's name here, right?
But let's stick to the candidate.
Yes. So there was an advert which has to do with the telecos. The free hour period days. Okay. When one company said that, some people said they offer free call times, but their free is not free after all. All right. Would you say it was an attack? Would you say it was a defense? Would you say that they were trying to run another company down? This is a message that is packed in simplicity. All right. But the message focus is that get to me because I am giving you, a kind of offer which there are no conditions attached. Okay.
So far, you've been speaking without mentioning names.
I'm not mentioning names.
So we have key individuals in this country.
My first point is that in political communication, people are listening to you. They are looking for reasons. Okay. So go speak and give them reasons. That will be the basis for them, forming their decisions, rather than spending a whole time on an opponent and then the people just come back without hearing what you have for them. That's my first point. My second point is that, when you have to place, you see where lawyer has placed his lens. All right, okay. If he places it down and he forgets, he may end up probably stepping on it. And that he will have to spend another money going to buy it, isn't it? Okay. So this is the correct place he has to place it. In terms of his size, in terms of remembrance and all that. You don't go into political communication when you actually forget about who your audience are and their characteristics.
And who forgot our his audience in this context?
I'm talking in general. Things that actually caused certain defeats, that also reduced certain votes, and that brought certain surprises. At any point in time, you see, Papa Ru, if I'm speaking to you, okay, as somebody who is interviewing me, all right, then I'll speak to you as I know you. If I feel that I am speaking to the audience who are listening to us, then of course I push my views in there so that it is not about you, Papa Ro, but the audience who are out there. You understand me? My man is in. Man, I couldn't know international.
Over.
You understand? So you see, Papa Ro, my point is this: the value of your message is important. As much as
so far you've been giving us theory, and I'm saying that I want you to relate this theory to the individual antagonists and protagonists in this drama. And so, for example,
you still want,
lawyer appeared. No, I want all of us to get educated.
Okay.
So lawyer Pierre Danko has been specific. Eduji has been. They've been specific.
Specific.
Okay.
Okay. So
he
I should
cites.
be specific.
He cites. The messaging
I should be
was
specific
wrong.
with examples.
Yes. So was it that Ken was too aggressive?
I'll do it.
Was it that you look at the marauding campaign strategy of Brian? That was why he was able to penetrate. Was it that there was Rashid Tanko has this theory that we are the individuals who were proxies, so that Ken will not get.
Rashid's this thing, the setup. No,
it's not the monitoring. He was talking about the strategy. So try and wrap up in 2 minutes.
So my point is this: you see, when a candidate like Brian Champong, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, visits, the delegates and speak to the problems of the delegates, then of course they are communicating that they really understand what their issues are. If they profess solutions, it means that they are actually ready for them. That one I've been specific, right? Or that one too is theory. Okay. So if you go to a campaign and you don't actually understand the constituency where you find yourself, and you don't understand the problems that they have, what their needs are, and you don't let them know that, yes, I understand your problems. Yes, I have analyzed your problems, and these are the solutions I would implement when you vote me into power. If you're able to do that, then they would align with you, identify themselves with you, and then they will begin to think. That is the most important thing. All right? So you don't go to address delegates, then you'll be talking national issues. It will not be proper. It will not be proper. All right? You don't go to, Honorable, your constituency is...
media have many constituencies.
No, the one in Volta region.
Oh, no, I'm still scouting.
No, I just want to give you...
You're putting him in trouble.
No. I understand the delegates are Ghanaians. I understand, yes, but these are people who are going to vote you, all right? And they have certain expectations about you concerning their constituency problems and their personal problems, okay? Some others may also be looking at other things. So that is where I'm saying that look at the constituency, look at the delegate, him or herself, and then understand their problems. Because after all, nobody goes to the market to go and buy a product when the product does not fulfill a need. That's the basic thing. Okay. All right. So for the delegate to be convinced that I'll vote for AB, it means that you really understand my needs and the problems that I'm facing. And then you have solutions, you have the capacity, the capabilities, and then the competencies to deliver on my expectations. All right. So those were some of the differences. All right. Besides, you see, like I said, I believe in politics of decency. And for me, at any point in time, when you are being perceived in a negative, light, you tend to erode your personal brand. Obviously, way back in 2020 coming down, I think there was a poll that actually placed Honorable Kennedy Japan as the most popular person in NPP. I don't know whether you remember. Okay, yes. Now, based on that, it was clear that at any point in time when you establish that correlation, which of course is there, that popularity could lead to election victory, right? But then, if you check the 2023 gains of, Honorable Kennedy Ejapong with regards to his popularity, you obviously would see that, yes, that kind of correlation was there. But in recent times, what has happened, certain outbursts, and all that, has also affected his brand. All right. So even in constituencies where, obviously, at a point in time, people felt that Ashanti region was going to fall for Honorable Kennedy Ejapong. All right. But when you check the data as at, Saturday by close of elections, you see what actually happened.
So they went for DMB?
Went for DMB.
Okay.
You understand? Even Eastern region was a problem. I think Eastern region, you only won 2 constituencies. All right. And you see, more or less, for me, I think that the handlers of Honorable Kennedy Ejapong, did not actually do justice of his brand. They couldn't, you see, the resources, Kennedy Ejapong as a resource, you understand, as a resource, should have been managed by his, handlers, in such a way that with the 211,000 over votes, okay, he could have pushed beyond 40%. But look, how
your postulations, are they for the contest towards 2032?
2032.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Oh, no.
He's not the one asking the question. Don't go there.
He shouldn't go. Oh, but like, I'm interested in that.
No, because the postulations, I want to see in terms of its material use.
In that because,
please, your time is up.
You should have offered it to your brother in the beginning.
Oh, I told him, but he didn't listen.
Now the horses are bolted.
You see, even when I told him, I'm wrapping up. Even when I said that Honorable Brane Champong seems to be overtaking Honorable Ken, he rubbished me and said that it would never happen. But check the margin difference. All right. On Saturday, I told him, please, the powder, you guys should bring it. You see, the honest thing is that, Papa Ru, we need to understand that the handlers, of Honorable Kennedy Ejapong didn't do justice to him. But it is also an advice to whoever has won. You see,
it's not whoever, it's DMB who has
Dr.
won.
Mahmoud Bawumia and his handlers should start, dealing with the brand Bawumia. Okay. All right? Because
you're saying that there needs to be sanitization around the brand. Going to the main election.
No, but how are you going to sanitize the brand when there's DDP?
I am talking from a marketing perspective. All right.
How are you going to
I am talking from a marketing perspective. And in marketing, we have models for dealing with personal brands and political brands. And I feel that when these models are tight and they are placed very well, okay, 2032 may not be 2032, but 2028.
Okay. How come you lost? What were the signals? What were the signals you were picking on the ground that got you so positive, even here? Dr. Kukubain, from the Ken camp, welcome. Breathe well.
Good morning.
Please bring him some water. Move some bread, please.
Mofa pada ninka
some water. Bring him some water.
Mofa pada ninka. I'm not. The one who intimidates him is seated by his friend.
Please bring me water. Bring me water.
The man, maybe after this, the man checking, he needs a psychiatrist to help him manage.
Dr. Kwakuba, you were so buoyant. When you come here, you say he's in Ashanti, he's in Amasaman. Then you even say
this time he's at home.
Good morning to our viewers out there, and then a good morning to all my senior colleagues on the panel here. Ro.
Yes, sir.
This is election.
Okay.
When it comes to elections, if you've been there before, you would understand some of these things. I have been there. In any case, I've been in 2 separate elections in NPP. So I understand some of these things. Dr. Tubu just join. And sometimes your expectations might not necessarily be what the outcome may be. We were in high spirit. We taught our message.
This morning you only pledged your support to Bawumia and move on.
It taught we were speaking to delegates, speaking to good minds, and then they would listen to us. But then this is what happened on Saturday when delegates voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as our flag bearer elect for the New Patriotic Party. I must say, congratulations to him. Job well done. He fought well. And the delegates of our party, NPP, has spoken. And then they've given the nod to him to lead the party come 2028. I would also say congratulations to my own boss, Honorable Kenny Japon, and then to Honorable Brian Echampon, Dr. Yawedi Chum, and then congratulations to Kwabeje Japon for all of them put up a yeoman's spirited fight, but this is what delegates of NPP are saying, that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should lead us come 2028 elections. At this moment, what I would say is that the hula baloo, all the talks are done. The die has been cast. A new leader for the New Patriotic Party has emerged. What I would plead with every other candidate or staff or those that campaign for him is that let us all come together, unite behind the new leader of the New Patriotic Party. This is what we have. The elephant is our symbol. And we can only but do ourselves a lot of good if we come together as a united front, not a disjointed house, not a house that is in tatters, but then look out for the good of the new leader of our party, and then help him campaign vigorously. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, campaign for him as we look forward to seeing the candidate of the NDC that they will present. Eduji, maybe you may contest, I don't know. And then whoever comes will face that person on.
Eduji as president.
Eduji, I'm asking, maybe he may contest, I don't know. But, but then what we are praying for is that...
I thought you are my friend.
What we are... what we are praying for is a united front. All this one saying, this one heckled me here, this one pushed me here. It is time for us to put it aside. We have a new leader in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The best we can do for ourselves as a party, with a common sense of purpose, a common agenda, a common goal, bring our house together, patch all the loopholes. You see, this election has taught us a lot of lessons. Great lessons, I tell you. If you look at the performance of Dr. Brian Champong, 18%.
18.5.
I gave him
4.5.
Yes, 18.5. I gave him, say, 5% the last time when we were speaking. That, yes, I know he would. But then delegates think that he would resonate better in the future. And then they voted massively for him. 18.5% in an election like this is not a small thing.
His first time.
His first time.
I think his overall strategy is 2032, knowing Bawumia will lose 2028.
Where did you buy? You can't just say he will Bawumia will lose 2028. Whether we like it or yes, at the moment,
let's get it under control, please.
Whether we like it or yes, at the moment, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a candidate of the New Patriotic Party. Me sitting here, like I have always maintained, my sympathy, my everything is with NPP. I would only do myself a lot of good by championing his cause, campaigning for him, and making sure that the New Patriotic Party comes back into office again, come 2028. And we know, yes.
So you're giving up on Ken going to Bawumia Street? I don't understand.
No, I can't give up on Ken. Ken is my boss. He is my godfather. We can't give up on him. But the New Patriotic Party, which he himself subscribes to, and then he made a profound statement when, after the election, when the media went to him, that people should put away that mantra of no can no vote. The New Patriotic Party has voted, delegates have voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
That's done well.
And now we think that everybody should rally behind him. Let's support him going forward in 2028, and then victory will be ours if we have a united front as a political party.
Okay. This one, how does the journey then looks for you, the NDC?
You see, if you're a young man watching me this morning, all that I can tell you is that if you want a political party to associate with, it is no other party but the National Democratic Congress. And the reason why I say this is personal. It is only the NDC that can elevate the son of a driver and make him a CEO. No birth certificate, a driver, and make him a CEO.
You mean the total driver or
driver? You understand? You won't have it in the NPP. They'll ask you who is your father. Who is your mother? Where are you coming from? Even Bawumia, who today they have made flag bearer, there were times that they questioned him, where he's coming from. Ofihi, he's an outsider. In the NDC, there is no such thing. Once you're a Ghanaian, merit. The NDC would always give you the opportunity to grow. So if you're a young man and you are watching me this morning, the NDC is your party of choice. Make no mistake. The other thing that is important for me is that if you pick candidates, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, remember, as the chair of the economic management team, we went through one of the most painful haircuts ever seen. The domestic debt exchange program, a program he sanctioned, a program that saw its implementation under his watch to the point that people lost their savings in a painful manner. In fact, there is a video of your own colleague, Alfred Okansi, interviewing a retiree who shared the pain that he went through because of monies lost to government. I want to also say this. Look, there's a reason why the NPP decided to rebrand Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no longer as an economist, but a digital man. There's a reason. The reason is his abysmal performance as the chair of the economic management team. Going into 2028, How are you going to rebrand him?
But they said that you're going to have a new candidate, so that's a new thing. It's one of the the Trump messages from the Bawumia camp.
But they pay.
Now the NDC is coming with a new candidate. He's a repeated
So that candidate has no sin. There's 10 sins of Bawumia.
16.
No, 16 sins of Bawumia.
Oh, you two, are you also following the?
Oh, yes. The NPP people sold this to their delegates. The 10 sins, 16 sins of Brian.
No, it was actually 10 sins of Brian, 10 sins of Kenny Japan.
Oh, you are confirming. I'm trying to.
Not that of Bawumia.
So there were sins. And I'm saying that going into the 2028 election, those sins, the NDC candidate does not come with sins. You understand? He won't come.
But you haven't chosen.
No, but I'm saying that he won't come with 10 sins or 15 sins. That's an advantage already. But even more importantly, our friends in the NPP say marketability is the same as acceptability. 16 years, Dr. Bawumia, together with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in opposition, 8 years in opposition, 8 years as vice president. In fact, we watch him on TV. You and I were not there. Even with all that, he did 42%. So 42 or 38%. But most 42. But most importantly, I make the point that the fact that you are marketable does not mean you will be accepted by the electorate. He is a marketing guru, and he will tell you. And so, what we have here, let us not forget the point that in going into the 2028 election, one, you are going to deal with 40-something% of the NPP who do not see the viability of their candidate. Over 40%. And finally, I just want to do this. If you have a situation where the NDC, with a better economic performance, clearly, what you'll be seeing is a situation where Bawumia will be telling the middle class voters, will be telling the average Ghanaian voter that ignore inflation of 5.3% and come for inflation of 54%. Yesterday, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo tried repairing himself by saying that he left an economy that was recovering. Mr. President, Mr. Former President, with the greatest respect to you, you left an economy that was in a junk status. You never left an economy that was recovering. It was junk. And that was the economy the NDC took. And today has what? Repaired it and put it on the pedestal of growth, prosperity for all. Roland, when was the last time you saw anything called doomsaw? That is the promise President Mahama gave. And together with his appointees, they have together ensured that you have this economy doing so well. And so I am clear in my mind that when during an election, a particular candidate say, the candidate you'll be presenting will be called a liar, a person you cannot trust. And there has not been any serious rebuttal to this serious labeling.
You mean what Kenny Japan says on live TV?
It was a very serious thing. And hold on. And listen to me carefully. Kenny Japan repeated it again in Asen, even after the initial distance. This is within 3 years. You cannot just rebrand it. I have listened to Sticker, the MP for Enshaeso. He raised very fundamental issues. And he said that, look, their worst performance ever as a political party is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia offered. Okay. I'm excited
for the
that
UP,
he's the
what
one
does it mean?
Think he's best
you have
for
a
them.
formidable candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. NDC will elect theirs. You also will have to go to your primaries and elect a candidate as well. 2028 promises to be quite interesting, isn't it?
So as it here, I'm a UP man, but most importantly, I'm a Ghanaian.
Yes.
See, we should never
There's
take
no doubt.
And that's what I find very surprising when people make the argument that you are speaking with delegates. And once you are speaking with delegates, then you must not show.
He's a political marketer.
I'm saying that, and that's what I find very surprising.
You said that you don't attack an individual, it backfires. And then also the message for internal primaries It's different from a national.
Why do we do
But every message has a target.
I beg you, please.
Every message has a target.
I'm coming. See, so we are all politicians. You understand? Some of us also do partisan. Every Ghanaian is a politician. Some of us do partisan politics. Now, for those of us who are doing partisan politics, we have other interests also apart from Ghana. But the ultimate interest has to be Ghana. So you can't say that because you're a delegate or NPP, when you are going to choose somebody who is going to be president of Ghana, you understand? Somebody who potentially can be president of Ghana, then your ultimate consideration ought not to be what's in the best interest of Ghana. You understand? And it's because of their inability to see politics or to be driven, their politics to be driven by a Ghanaian interest. And that's why they can wage the kind of campaign they wage. For me, as a Ghanaian and also as a EP man, then it tells me that, listen, beyond me wanting our candidates to become president, it is also in my personal interest as a Ghanaian, and it's in our collective interest as Ghanaians, that we do not allow a candidate that the NPP themselves have told us is a liar. The NPP themselves have told us that he is the person that indeed the salary rise that we were alleging against him is indeed true. We should not allow a candidate who the NPP are telling us that was in charge of the PDS scandal. And see, let's take the PDS scandal. You take one of the biggest companies in Ghana, ECG, a company owned by Ghana, and they tried to sell this company to some individuals without due process. You understand? Please don't do this. The NPP, in fact, Ken's team, my brother's team, told us that His Excellency Dr. Bawumia is autistic. They said it. They use very vile words. But in their, I'm coming. In their campaign,
Ken himself didn't say anything.
NDC members won't do that.
I'm telling you that the NPP as a political party is going to sponsor His Excellency Dr. Bawumia. You understand? They held a contest to decide who to choose. You understand?
For the national election.
For the national election. Now, and because of what was at stake, they ought to have the interest of Ghana at heart. And yet, because of the Machiavellian culture in their party, because of the negative, vile, familiar spirit culture in their party, the party allowed for a very dirty, vile campaign to occur. And within this campaign, they've told us that the person that they've chosen to sponsor has a certain 16 cents. They've told us that he has set characteristics which does not make him fit.
16 cents.
So you mean that he has to go for repentance?
So you see, it's not about I'm not believing the point. So the point is that I have my brother here telling me today now that in spite of the 16 sins they told us, in spite of they telling us that His Excellency Dr. Bawumia is a liar, you understand? In spite of they telling us that he is autistic. You understand? Beyond all the negative things they told us, that the salary rise was in charge.
Just a campaign.
It's not just, but and it takes. I'm surprised that it's a campaign. You are choosing somebody. You are going to give.
It's just a campaign.
It cannot just be a campaign. Listen. You are choosing somebody. I beg you. You are choosing somebody to give that person executive powers. It can't just be a campaign. You are choosing someone that potentially you are going to give executive powers and say it's just a campaign. You treat as an internal what? When the person you are going to choose is going to be
but the fact is that they know him better than us.
People have said worse.
Listen, whether they've said worse, whether they said worse or not.
Somebody don't even say that before all the gold in there.
Listen, I beg you, allow me to speak. Whether people have said worse, listen, whether people have said worse or not. You just inform me.
Let me a quick remark to some of the things.
Let me finish. I'm not finished.
You have a minute.
You see, you take politics. You think it's a game. You have Ghanaians, you understand, who can't find viable health systems. Right? You have Ghanaians who are so poor that they can't even get one decent meal to eat. Okay. We have a system where we don't have very good health care. I think this is a game. At the end of the day, this is a contest that is going to choose somebody that can potentially become president of Ghana. It's not a game. Now, their party who wants to sponsor him is telling us They are telling us that this man is a liar. They are telling us that he has autism. They are telling us that he is in charge of the PDS scandal. And so for me, foremost as a Ghanaian, it tells me that foremost as a Ghanaian,
let me correct
it tells me that there's somebody that we should not place our policy.
But then the fact that...
Please, 2 minutes. What portends for the parties now?
Disaster for NPP.
NPP has elected their candidates. They've elected their candidate. NDC will have to follow suit. Of course, they have it in their constitution.
And it will be very peaceful, calm.
He is predicted to be peaceful.
Yeah.
And then also he still says that the party is united behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. What's 2028 going to look like? How do the parties behave? The posture, etc.
So, you see, Roland, I have said that in political context, you don't undermine or you don't even think about underdogs, all right? And so you are going in with the exception that your opponent is as strong as you are. So you go in and do what you have to do. The experiences of the NPP in power, the 8 years, suggest to me that, that slogan, breaking the 8, was one thing that actually got deep into their heads, and that the things that they were supposed to have done, they slept on most of them. And I don't want the NDC, to go in that like manner, because
we are not complacent at all. That's why we are performing better.
A 2028 stiff competition between these two,
the NPP and NDC.
NDC with the introduction of UP, coming in. All right, I am expecting to see that strong. You see, the narratives for me, I think that is anybody's game in 2028, because like we were asking lawyer ABG about, a marketed candidate in the person of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, or let me even put it better, a repeated candidate who is favored in terms of Ghana's political history, and its trajectories, as against new candidates, which, of course, the narratives have not always supported. I think that NDC will have to do a lot more work. That notwithstanding, I believe that the NDC as a governing party, would have to probably continue, in whatever they are doing, and then also make sure that the candidate that they are presenting is a candidate that Ghanaians will look beyond party performance, will look beyond the current president's performance, and probably say that this candidate can step into the shoes, of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But if there is doubts that that candidate cannot continue and cannot hold the party together, and that candidate is equally, has some kind of, you see, there's this thing, and I think that it has been one of the internal struggles of these two major political parties. It's not about divisions, but it has to do with, the powers, struggle for powers between, the presidency and then the party structures. All right. Now, if you don't hold these two things tight and close and ensure that they complement each other, and then the presidency believes that I have the power and I am going to be authoritative in my decision making, and then force it on the party. From the way I'm seeing things, if the party structures also begin to, reject whatever the presidency is forcing, it will create a problem for the NDC. My last thing is that, look, the NPP has brought and repeated a candidate. It is about, mobilizing party support, party strength, behind that candidate.
Okay.
I like what Brandon Champon said. I like what Kennedy Japan said. I like what the other two, Kwabre Japan and Educhum, said. Now, it is not just about sitting down and sitting. It's about the forces that you push in there.
Let me correct my impression that the party calls Bawumia a liar, or NPP people calling Bawumia a liar.
No, listen. Candidates called
I'm I'm coming.
What are you saying?
It was really not necessary for whatever that Ken was talking about was miscommunication to Ken. Because he attributed,
even
listen, he attributed,
there had been a clarity
attributed a
he
comment
didn't say
made
and
by
I was to me. Even after that, he said,
and another candidate.
What are you trying to say?
Eduboahene did not contest. That Eduboahene did not contest.
So Ken knew what he was saying.
The 1996 primaries. And then it was actually not Bawumia that said that. What we all should understand is that the EMT, as Eduji mentioned, yes, Bawumia was the chairman of the EMT, but the EMT was only but an advisory committee.
But Ken himself says that
it was an advisory committee to government. And then a lot of the implementations that you do not understand.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You don't understand. Papa Ro.
Your mics are off.
Papa Ro.
Your mics are off.
Papa Ro.
If you want to look smart,
Papa Ro.